Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Mr. G's Workbench. Thanks for stopping in. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. If you're a first-time visitor, welcome. Hope you enjoy your time here, and let me know what you think. We're going to have a little bit of a change of pace today, as you'll notice from the title of this video. I was recently contacted by an airbrush company called Neoeco, and they asked me to take a look at their airbrushes, let them know what I thought of them, and if I liked them, to do a video. So we're going to do that today. We're going to open up the box. We'll take a look at what you get. The one we're going to look at today is the NCT-SJ83. This airbrush goes for $39.99 on their website, and there'll be a link down there below. And what we'll do is we're going to take a look at what you get in the box for $39, and then we're gonna use it for something practical, and I'll tell you more about that after we take a look at this. Last thing before we turn around to the bench and take a look at this, thanks as always to my channel members. That's their names right there. Guys, I really appreciate your additional support, and I hope I do you proud, all right? So that being said, let's take a quick look at what you get in the box from Neoeco with the SJ83, and this is going to be the R. It's the red one. You'll see that in a second. And after we look at the contents, we'll talk about what we're going to do with it, all right? Let's take a look at that, all right? The only difference between the B and the R is the color of the cup and the back of the brush. But let's take a look at this one. All right, you've got some foam, keeping everything arrived in one piece. You've got a 0.2 millimeter needle here, a 0.5 millimeter needle here. The needle that's in the brush is going to be a 0.3. You'll also find in here a quick release. The brush, obviously, and we'll take a closer look at that in a minute with the 0.3 millimeter needle inside. You've also got the corresponding tips for each needle, squeegee, a wrench. You'll get a small plastic cup. Inside the small plastic cup, you'll find O-rings, washers, which is great. A lot of companies don't give you anything with their airbrushes except for the brush. So you've got that in there in a large cup. Then you've got a larger cup. Inside the larger cup is that red paint cup. So let's take a closer look at the brush itself. You get a MAC valve here to make fine adjustments to the airflow to mix in with the paint. As I just mentioned previously, you get 4 different cups in the box. You've got the smallest one, you've got a slightly larger metal one, and then you've got 2 larger plastic ones. Mostly, I would assume, for primer and stuff. So now that we've seen what's in the box, let's take a look and see how easy it is to change the needles and get a little versatility out of this airbrush. Let me show you how that works. The needle is going to determine how fine a line you're going to make. You've got 0.2 millimeter, you've got the 0.3 that comes in the brush, and you've got a 0.5 needle. So just to show you how easy it is to change out, let me change out to the 0.5 just so we can take a look at it. The cap pulls right off, it's not screwed on, so easy enough to manage that. Now you want to change the needle out. The first thing I would do is go in here, twist off the guard on the back. Then you're going to unscrew that just a little, not even a quarter turn. You can pull the needle out. Let's set the 0.3 needle aside. And then you can unscrew the tip for the 0.3. You can unscrew that with your fingers. Finger tight, I think, is the rule here for anything that you're screwing on and off from the airbrush. Then let's take that 0.5 millimeter tip. We'll screw that on. And we'll get that 0.5 millimeter needle. Take that little safety cover off of there. Carefully, don't jam these in, because you'll do what I did when I first started using an airbrush, which is go through about 20 needles, because you'll keep damaging them when you shove them in and they hit something. So gently slide it in. You'll feel a little resistance at one point. Push it in until it goes all the way in. You can see the tip there. That resistance you're feeling is the needle passing the seal. That helps it to function. So do that. Let's put the cap back on there. Screw this back on carefully. And then the brush is ready to spray with the 0.5 millimeter needle. You can adjust the draw of the trigger using this knob back here. So if I wanted to bring it all the way in, it won't move. Let's say I'm going to do some fine line work with a 0.2 millimeter needle. You might bring that out a little, and it'll restrict the rearward movement of the trigger. And then you can just twist it all the way out if you're so inclined. You can, as I said, they give you a quick release. Honestly, I don't have quick release. This is the first one I've had, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. I think we're ready to give this thing a shot. So far, everything looks pretty cool. So let's put this thing to good use. Instead of just making lines on paper and cardboard and stuff, how's about we dive in and we'll actually use it in a practical way. I've got a Fujimi Zero kit here. I've been thinking of building it. So I won't focus as much on the build process with this one as much as the painting process. So this will be one of those times we'll actually go over to the paint booth and I'll show you what we do step by step with the airbrush, and you'll see how it performs. All right, so let's go over to the paint booth and we'll take a look. We'll get the first components painted and get this thing going. All right, we're at the booth. Apologize for the noise, but it's inevitable. So let's start out, and we'll use some Mr. Surfacer 1500 gray. I'm gonna thin it about 50-50 when I add it into the brush, and then just to get things rolling along, we're just gonna prime everything that's in the box. So let's go with that. Let's see how she sprays. My first impression so far with the brush, spray's great. The spray is consistent. The only issue I had, you may have noticed, about a quarter of the way in, I started to notice I was getting speckles of paint. A primer was collecting on the tip cap, and then it would sputter. Like after it dried on this cap, then when it had enough mass, it sputtered onto the plastic. So for me, the tip cap will be off when I paint. I'll put it on to protect the needle point when I'm not using it, but that was my biggest complaint with that. And through the magic of video, the primer will be dry, and we'll paint up the inside stuff. All right, so let's jump back in. Out of the paint booth, And don't judge me by this back here. I was blown out the rest of the metallic blue I had loaded in. I really only needed to do these little corners. I had loaded more than enough metallic blue, so I did the tail wheels, and then I just, as a lark, you're never going to see any of this. I wanted to see how tight I could get with the 0.3 needle. I thought that was pretty good considering, let me get in there a little. Considering that was just freehand, I didn't tape it, I didn't hold a card or anything. The 0.3 needle, which is the medium spray needle, still got relatively neat lines on the inside there, you can see. The Fujimi kit's very basic. I'm not even going to get into the details of that. I've got a couple of decals I pulled out of the Eduard set for the gauges for the instrument panel. Like I said, I enjoy spraying this brush so far. It's been, the paint went on smooth. I changed up between lacquer and acrylic a couple of times with no issue. Just cleaned the brush out, ran some thinner in it, went on to the next color, had no issues. So again, I'm pretty good with that. Back at the workbench, I've got the brush. I'm going to clean it out and I'm going to swap back to the 0.3 millimeter needle. My biggest criticism so far is that I probably thinned my black paint down a little too much. The brush performed relatively well. I had some issues with trying to get the right feel for a good mix of air and paint. I didn't have any mechanical issues with the brush. It was just a matter of I didn't get these like fine lines that I expected. But let me show you on the bench and I'll explain it a little better. As far as kit wise, yeah, it's an old kit and it shows when you're putting it together. The assembly wasn't too bad. It's just, you know, as you would expect, it's tedious masking a zero canopy without some Eduard pre-cut masks. This is the issue I was just referring to. Well, first of all, first issue you can see is my shaky hands. And the other problem was, you can see I had problems getting used to adjusting the mix of paint and air. And on top of that, my black paint mix was a little too thin. So it was pre-shading, so I ran with it. I think this will be fine once it gets painted up in IJN gray. The cowling is painted in a mix that approximates the Mitsubishi cowling color. It's 40% of X3 blue, 30% X1 black, and 30% X2 white. The cowling color is also the color painted on the back of the inside the canopy behind the cockpit. So I've applied a few of the Eduard decals onto the Fujimi kit. They settled down really nice over the raised rivet detail. Really happy with it. And I did this once before in another video. I'm going to do it again because there's always talk about removing the clear layer from the Eduard decals, the newer ones. And these Japanese decals are part of that group. So it's hard to see here, but there's a faint clear border around this. And if you get in there with a toothpick and just lightly tap at it, you'll eventually pick up that clear layer. So you can see the difference. It's shiny where the clear layer is still on it. You just have to take your time and not press down too hard on the decal because you'll obviously tear the decal. And this is, obviously this is optional. You don't have to do this. I just like the effect you get. You get more of a painted on effect when that's not there. So we're done with the Fujimi Zero. Let me give you a quick look at it on the turntable. I'm pretty happy with it. Exterior wise, it's a nice kit. The detail is actually really nice. It's a combination of raised rivets and recessed panel lines, and it looks good. Especially once you throw a wash on it, I was very happy with it. I used Eduard decals. They went down really well. They settled down over the raised rivets and down into the recessed panel lines. I was very happy with that. The only thing I absolutely detested was masking the canopy off. Unfortunately, I think we as modelers, at least myself, have gotten a little spoiled with pre-cut masks. So I had to sit and actually cut all the tape for the Zero canopy, and I hated every minute of it. Everything else, the tail markings, they really don't fit right. The shape of the tail on the Fujimi kit is slightly off from the Eduard Zero. The little triple stripes on the landing gear of the Zero are from the original kit decals. They're terrible. And the red stripes on the props are same thing. They're kit decals. They look awful. But I had to go with what I had. So that was that. Overall, though, like I said, for a 40-year-old kit, you can't go wrong. I paid like $10 for it at a show. Back to what we used, what the whole point of this was to use this Neoeco airbrush. This is the NCT-SJ83, whatever all those letters mean. Double action airbrush with a Mac valve. Came with 3 needles and a quick disconnect and 4 paint cups. Honestly, you'll probably use the 2 smallest paint cups, and you'll probably use the 0.3 needle most of the time, 90% of the time. The 0.2 needle, it works. I wasn't too happy with the performance, but I think that was more my paint mixture at that point. I didn't really thin it down as much as I probably should have, so I'll take the hit for that one. But overall, this sprayed really well. I sprayed Tamiya acrylics through it. I sprayed lacquer through it, Hataka orange lacquer. I sprayed some Vallejo metallics through it. Also some AK, their super metallic stuff. I sprayed that Ultimate Metal, I think it's called. I just glanced over and realized it. I sprayed that through here. It all went through, no problem. I've been beating the shit out of this since I started using it, and I'm very happy with it. For a budget-priced airbrush, you're getting a lot of versatility, and again, I'm not getting paid by them to say any of this. All I got was an email asking me to try it out and film my my reaction to it. So for model building purposes, I think it's a good budget priced airbrush. Well worth your money if you're looking to get something without breaking the bank. If you're looking to learn how to use an airbrush, it's a good way to start. I started with a budget airbrush as well. So I'll leave the shilling at that. Neoeco recommended. And just let them know that I sent you if you order one, all right? And that being said, let me know what you think. If you tried this brush and you didn't like it, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I hope you'll give me a thumbs up after you're done watching this. If you didn't like what you saw, and give me a thumbs down. Fair enough. And I appreciate you watching this long. Just let me know why you didn't like the video, all right? Nobody ever does, but such is life. So thanks for stopping in, guys. Thanks to my over 3,480 subscribers. We're creeping up on 3,500. And I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you. And my channel member family, thank you guys for your support as always. And I will see you guys in the next video, which should be the Bicentennial F4B that I promised a while ago. So thanks again for stopping in. Take care, stay well, and I will see you guys real soon.